Right, this video's about questions I've got about my overdose, so as you can tell there's a trigger warning on this video. First question is, did you get the right support of mental health services after being discharged? This one's quite a tricky question, like I did but I didn't. So when I first got released out of hospital, I had a mental health crisis team and they would visit the house weekly and discuss like how I was feeling and if anything had changed in my moods, what I had been doing, so that they could sort of identify what had triggered me to feel down. But that stopped quite quickly. Obviously the COVID pandemic didn't help, but that stopped quite quickly. I also had a psychiatrist in my local health centre, but don't mean to slate psychiatrists, but they didn't really do much help for me, because although I'm not saying that mindfulness is not good, it personally doesn't work for me. Some people will need medication and agree better with medication, and some people just need to do a lifestyle change. But for me, a psychiatrist and the mental health team didn't really help much, and they don't last long. They don't get down to the root cause of what caused you to attempt something so serious. So I would say no, but I got a lot more than was offered to other people, so yes. Are you a more positive person now because of it? In some ways, yes, and in some ways, no. I am more positive, as in I enjoy things more. Like just seeing Christmas lights or something like that, I take more enjoyment out of it rather than sulking because I can't do this or can't do that. But in other ways, no, because, well, I can't really walk. I can't do the same things as I used to do because of the implications of the coma. So it does get me down. Like, it would get anyone down, not being able to do the same things as they could and not being able to walk or do other things. But at the same time, I am grateful that I can still walk to some degree. So there's cons and benefits of everything. Was there anything anyone could have done to help / prevent the attempt? I don't think so, to be honest. This is why I didn't ring Samaritans or anything, because once you get so down and in your head about things, you don't want help. Like, it's not a case of not having no one there to help, it's a case of not wanting help. You don't want anyone to stop your plans of what you want to do. To be honest though, I didn't even realise that I was getting down. I was so busy and so like doing loads of things that it happened. Was it your first attempt? No, not really. It was my second attempt. My first one, I took about 100 odd tablets, and I was in my house when I done that one. So my dad caught me as soon as I fell into my sister's door. Shan, I can see you moving. Oh no. My dad caught me as soon as I fell into my sister's door and forced me to be sick, and drove me to the hospital myself as the ambulance would have taken too long. And then obviously the second one, I took over 400 tablets, and I was over a friend's house, so no one could really do anything because my friend was sleeping. So the ambulance wasn't called for about 14 hours. So I was starved of oxygen on only 2% oxygen left in my body for 13 hours. Do you have any lasting problems because of it? Yes. So I've had a lobectomy on my left lung. So I've had half it cut away. The half of my right lung isn't functioning, so I need that cut away and have another lobectomy. So obviously there's a lot of scars going on. Obviously I have that scar there from the trachea. What are the problems? I have a heart condition. So my heart rate is permanently faster than anyone else's, and I'll be on bisoprolol for the rest of my life. I've got drop foot from where all the muscle wasted away from being in the coma for so long. And I've also got nerve damage all down my legs and into both feet. So the nerve damage has affected my right foot, so I can't feel the top of my foot. But my left foot, I can't move at all. I can't wiggle my toes. I can't feel it at all. So that's the major issue I've got, is obviously my walking and my left foot. Views on the NHS after being a patient. Obviously they've done everything they could to help me, and I think they're brilliant, especially for free, because obviously the money that would have costed them to put me all the way to London, put me on ECMO, keep me on loads of different machines going all at once, is a lot more than anyone in my family could have afforded. So I think they're brilliant, but in the same regards, I think more should be done. Like, they're so short staffed that you've got to wait if you need.
I checking to see if I was in it, and I am. My little head.
Obviously, you'll be waiting for quite a while if you need something done. Like if you need your bed sheets done and you can't get out of bed yourself, that's automatically a 2-nurse job. So they've got to move you and do your sheets. And most of the time there's not even 2 nurses on the ward, never mind 2 nurses just for you. So they ring a little bell and you've got to wait however long it takes for someone to finish their other job and come over. I got a few that haven't been questions, but they have been sort of niggling things that I know people either want to ask or things I want to discuss. So the first one is, if you've ever had people overdose or you are currently going through it, don't be afraid when people shake, because I know my legs, my whole body was uncontrollably shaking. It was like I was having a seizure, because it's just the withdrawal. It's your body working so hard to get out of your system that you will start having the shakes. After someone wakes from a coma, they normally have seizures of some kind. Like, I've only had 3 since waking up, but those are quite bad seizures. Like the ones I was drinking my apple juice, took the lid off in the hospital Costa, and I started having a seizure and chucking all the apple juice everywhere. So don't be alarmed if they also have seizures. It doesn't necessarily mean they have brain damage. And if you've got anyone in a coma or been through it, people can cough in a coma and they can do normal things in a coma. It doesn't mean anything bad. It's just quite alarming.
Very scary. Very scary.
Like, my sister called the nurse when I coughed in a coma because I had the trachea down. I couldn't make any noises, so I was just shaking, looking like I was gagging, and it was not pleasant. People mostly asked what I had done in hospital overall. So I was in the Gwent for 8 days in a medically induced coma. I did go into a natural coma with the amount of medication I overdosed on. But they put me in a medically induced one just to give my organs and everything time to heal, and they didn't want me waking up too soon. So after being in the Gwent for 8 days, I had double pneumonia and sepsis. So they couldn't really do much more for me. So then I got sent to London, where I got put on ECMO, which stands for echocardio membrane oxygenation. Is that it, Jan? No, extracorporeal membrane oxygenation. So I had a tube going into the side of my neck by ear and 2 tubes at the top of my legs. One would drain the blood and pump it around a machine, the ECMO machine, and that basically acts as like an artificial heart and lung. So it cleans your blood for you, it reoxygenizes it, and it pumps it back into the body to give your lungs and heart rest to recover. And then the other 2 pumped it back into your blood, into your body. But that wasn't working for me, and the machine could only deal with 5 litres of blood. So I had to have the tube in my neck put in, which helped get it back in quicker. And I had to have a few blood transfusions. And I also had to have my blood taken out of me so that the machine could deal with it better. I got changed onto a different ECMO machine because your blood starts to clot after a month, so it's not really recommended that you stay on it longer than a month. I had the trachea done, and because obviously you got it down your throat, you can't cough or anything, so the mucus tends to just sit on your lungs. So I had a little suctioning pipe going all the way down and sitting in the middle of my lungs, and if I told them I needed to cough, they'd have to pump it and then pull it, which obviously tickles all the back of your throat. It's horrible. So most of the time I was sick doing that. What else did I have done? My lobectomy. So I got a medium-sized scar on my side and then another big one underneath. I need another lobectomy on my right side as it's not functioning properly. Did I have anything else done?
I think that's mainly it. There was the main things anyway.
I think that's mainly it. I had to go for MRIs, chest x-rays and CT scans every week just to make sure my lungs were dealing okay, because I kept internally bleeding. So I also have little scars along the way from drains being fitted to drain all the blood out my lungs. I think that's it really. Question is, how did I deal with London? London was quite hard because obviously I couldn't speak and there's a massive communication barrier as it is. I couldn't even write things down because my muscle had all wasted away. Like, you wouldn't believe how quickly muscle wastes away and comes back. I couldn't even hold a phone. My sister gave me a phone to message my friends to tell them I was awake, and I was just dropping it on my face. I don't really know how I coped. I think I must have cried the most I've ever cried in my life in London Hospital, where I currently am. We've come back today because it's been 9 months since I came out of the hospital. It's been 10 months since I went in. Wait, that don't make sense, does it?
It's been 9 months since you overdosed.
It's been 9 months since I overdosed, near enough.
Wait, you did it in October, so it's actually 10 months. No, 11 months. Because we're in September now.
Oh yeah, 11 months since I done the overdose. I done it on Halloween night. Love the drama. So it's been about 11 months since I overdosed, and I had to come back just to do some tests. I had a lung function test, which come back absolutely normal, considering I've had bits of my lung removed. I've had blood taken out of my ear. I don't know if you can see the scar yet. There's a little nick. They come back normal. I've had a CT, but I need to wait for the results, and I will get them on the 25th of this month. And I've had an ultrasound of my heart just to make sure everything's going okay, because I found out when I was in the Royal Brompton the first time that I had a hole in my heart, and that it could make ECMO a bit less useful because the blood could just be pumping straight out of my heart. So the family have come up with me for the checkups. It's not the end of my medical journey. I'll still have to go to the Gwent. I see the chest clinic, obviously, about my lungs. I'm still under the mental health team in the Gwent, and I gotta have my foot seen too. And I think that's it. Are you on any medication to manage your mental health? Yes, I'm on metazapine. It's quite good, but it's also quite bad because as soon as I take it, I want to sleep, and I tend to find it makes me quite emotionless. So if something happens that would normally upset a normal person or would upset me normally, it doesn't impact me as much. I think that's all the questions. If you want a part 2 and any more questions, comment below, and thank you for watching.
I was meant to be in it, but I'm currently feeling like I'm dying.
My sister wants me to add, she was meant to be in it and give her side of things, and how the family dealt with things, because she crashed her car when I was in hospital. But she is currently quite ill. It's drained it from her because she's gone back to work. She's trying to make time for her friends and she's trying to make time for us, and it's just too much for her, so she is drained. But if you want her to be in the next one, I will force her, so comment below.
Can you see my little finger? My thumb? I hope you can't see my face, so you can see my thumb.
Yeah, you can.
Oh god.
Thank you for watching.